Well, I met Rick a bunch of years ago. We're just gonna take some pre-game ibuprofens here. It was nighttime, nobody had an address. They just told me to come this way towards where he lives, like this direction, but no address.
And as I come around the corner, I see this barn on the right. It's all lit up, and you gotta be me.
It looked like a UFO out in the field. I just was like, holy cow.
You know, in the years of playing hockey, you know a bunch of people that have built rinks, and it's in their backyard, and put up some 2x10s, little 6 mil plastic, and you flood it, and you're like, yeah, all right, you know. He invited me up, and opened the door, walked in, and I said, yeah, I got to figure out a way to keep myself here.
I've come into a, fully lit rink, and a man riding around on a Zamboni.
I've always been in love with hockey, and even though I never played organized hockey as a kid, I always enjoyed a little pond hockey here and there, and always wanted to have an ice rink, and decided to go ahead and build it. I did have plenty of time to jot down a lot of notes and do a lot of research for several years before breaking ground, and it was ready to skate 11 months later.
Field of Dreams of Hockey is pretty much what this place is. Even as a seasoned old man, it doesn't get old, that's for sure.
Brings his buddies here a couple times a week to play some hockey, and you can't beat it. It's just awesome.
It's probably the best decision I ever made. The smiles on everybody's faces every week, it's fantastic. The pond on the property has proved to be very, very valuable for the ice making. Takes a lot of water, so we pump the water up from the pond, and we soak the sand until it's completely saturated, and then we bring the chiller down to 16 degrees, and that freezes that soaked sand so that it becomes like concrete. And then the next morning, when it's all frozen, they come back, we start up the pumps again, and we start spraying water. It's basically little raindrops falling on that frozen sand, and they freeze within 20 seconds, and you build the ice in layers, and that's why it takes a few days. But the surface has to be painted, and then all the lines are put down, and then the ice surface is built on top of that.
Rick, invited me to play here, and I said, I've got this trophy. I think, it'd probably look a lot better at your place than mine. And, from there, it became this masterpiece of a hockey trophy.
I believe it's just kind of mixing bowls, stainless steel mixing bowls that are all welded together, and that inspired us to have the Winter Classic tournament. And it consisted of 4 teams, and we had an entry fee. A lot of that covers costs, but we were also able to raise money for the Garden of Dreams Foundation, which is affiliated with New York Rangers, Madison Square Garden. Local high school, we have come in for practices on Fridays. It's a supplemental practice, and they greatly appreciate, the extra ice time each week. We've donated the rink. It was auctioned off and raised money for a local hospital, also a private school. I was amazed, at how much people were interested in bidding and coming up to the rink.
When you're out there on the ice, you're a kid again. whatever's going on in your life, whether, you know, work, family, home, whatever's going on in your life, all you are is a hockey player at that point, and all you're thinking about is the next play, or what are you going to do your next shift on the ice and stuff. So all that other stuff goes away, and it's kind of magical for that time that you're out there.
Hockey seemed to be a lot faster paced than soccer.
Sometimes it's fun to be a little crazy and sit in front of a puck.
I gotta love like the raw emotion of the game.
I particularly like shooting high top corners on Waitson and trying to get it as close to his head as I can, because I know he loves that. And then with Fisher is definitely, he's a low blocker, go low blocker side on Fisher every time.
I score on any goalie. I mean, I'm not saying that because I can, but I'll take anyone I get. I'll score in the open net. I'll take that one too.
I always thought of, family and friends, this being a nice attraction for everyone to come and skate or watch, and it's proved that.
Better make sure to pack the ibuprofen and some Canadian beer.
Like to keep it in the theme of the hockey and the sport. A couple before, a couple after.
Mike doesn't bring his own, so you're gonna have to help feed his habits.
You know.
Remember when your mother taught you that if you clean the table up after you get invited over for dinner, you get invited back?